you guys, and as you all know, it ain't Wednesday, but it's Swerve. Give God some praise. Give God some praise. All right. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So if you haven't already, go ahead and get your Bibles ready. We are in 1 Samuel chapter 7. As you all know, words may vary depending on which standard you read. I read from the Tanakh. Sometimes I'll switch to the New King James Version. I always let you guys know. But yeah, let's not waste any time. You know, when we read chapter 6, it was about, how the Philistines had got the Ark of the Covenant, right? They won in battle against the Israelites, and how God brought terror down on them, right? Until you take this back to where it belongs. Ain't no peace for y'all. Y'all had hemorrhoids, boils, all kinds of stuff. Mice ate up your crops. He laid down the law, right? Right. And so let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's dive into chapter 7. 7:1. The men of Kiriath-Jearim came down and took up the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab on the hill. And they consecrated his son Eleazar to have charge of the ark of the Lord. Now there are a few Abinadabs in the Bible, and y'all have to excuse me. I already know these names get a little tricky, right? But like Saul had a son that died in battle. I believe his name was Abinadab. But this in particular, Abinadab, is King David's brother. And basically, he had the ark remain in his house for 20 years, and there was favor upon him, and he was a Levite. So let's keep going. And Abinadab means my father is giving. 7:2. A long time elapsed from the day that the ark was housed in Kiriath-Jearim, 20 years in all, and all the house of Israel yearned after the Lord. Oh, I bet. 7:3. And Samuel said to all the house of Israel, if you mean to return to the Lord with all your heart, you must remove the alien gods and the Ashtaroth from your midst and direct your heart to the Lord and serve him alone. So even now, y'all, we got to forgive and God. All right, guys, I had to come in the house because it's so windy outside. Literally, my pages were flying out of my book, which is crazy because I'll just rewrite it. You hear that, devil? It don't matter. If I had to write this 1,000 times, I would, right? So anyways, the end of that last verse where we were was Samuel telling them to, get rid of all these foreign gods. You know who the real God is. And humble yourself and serve the Lord. And then he will deliver you from the hands of the Philistines. That was the end of verse 3. So let's go 7:4. And the Israelites removed the Baalim and Ashtaroth, and they served the Lord alone. Samuel said, assemble all Israel at Mizpah, and I will pray to the Lord for you. They assembled at Mizpah, and they drew water and poured it out before the Lord. They fasted that day, and there they confessed that they had sinned against the Lord. And Samuel acted as chief of the Israelites at Mizpah. And baby, it's good to have a good chief. Let me tell you something. Samuel was so good. God talked to Samuel. God dwelt with Samuel. Listen, Samuel was solid with God. They couldn't say nothing against him. So if I had a chief, if I had somebody over me, if I had somebody that I could confide in and go to, I wanted to be somebody that's close-knit with the Lord like Samuel was, because Samuel got stuff moving. When Samuel came to God on the people's behalf, stuff started to move, baby. The water started to tremble. So, 7:7. When the Philistines heard that the Israelites had assembled at Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines marched out against Israel. Hearing of this, the Israelites were terrified of the Philistines, and they implored Samuel, do not neglect us, and don't refrain from crying out to the Lord our God to save us from the hands of the Philistines. It's crazy. Because they know how close Samuel is with the Lord. Call out on our behalf, because we know we ain't been living right. He might not answer for us. You feel me? There be so many of us living our grandma prayers, mama prayers, granddaddy prayers. You know what I'm saying? But we knew we weren't living right. But when things got tough, Grandma, I need you to pray for me. Mama, I need you to pray for me. You don't know if you're looking at 100 years, Mama, I need you to pray for me, right? It's good to have somebody that got that relationship with God that you can go to intercede on your behalf. Let me tell you, interceding itself, being a good intercessor, is a gift from God alone. It's a lot of people that don't even know how to pray. What do I say? And there's some of us who know that scripture can get on our knees and throw our hands in the air and make stuff move. Move the mountains God talked about, right? Right. 7:9. Thereupon Samuel took a suckling lamb and sacrificed it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. And Samuel cried out to the Lord on behalf of the Israelites, and the Lord responded to him. For as Samuel was presenting the burnt offering, the Philistines advanced to attack Israel. The Lord thundered mightily against the Philistines that day. He threw them into confusion, and they were routed by Israel. The men of Israel sailed out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, striking them down to a point below Beth-kar. Listen, did y'all hear that? It's some people that can go to God and God move immediately. And I want y'all to get in the habit of building your relationship with God like that. So when you call on God, you want to move immediately. When you call on God, he responds. Because I know people love to say, just get on your knees, call him. But he don't always answer. It's been many times in the text where they strayed away from God and said, God said, nah, they got to learn their lesson this time. And they cried out and it fell on deaf ears. God didn't come. God didn't answer. Then years have passed and God bring them down. Get a little soft like, man, they're my babies. I can't hear them crying out to me no more. I'm going to build up somebody to come rescue them. I'm going to send somebody away. But wouldn't it be a grand thing if every time you opened your mouth, the Lord showed up on your behalf immediately? Every time the enemy was up against you and you prayed to God and you fasted, he moved that mountain because he will. He will. All you got to do is get your relationship type with God. Try to honor him the best way you can. He's not asking for perfection. He's not asking for perfection. But he's asking for you to at least put your best foot forward. I know when I'm going through something, I don't want to always have to call on my family and be like, pray for me. Pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Go, what if they forget? What if they go, baby, I'm going to pray for you. And by the time they made it here to McDonald's, they done forgot they were supposed to pray for me. I want to know when I pray to God, he answered right away. 7:12. Samuel took a stone and set it up between Mizpah and Shin and named it Ebenezer, stone of help. For up to now, he said, the Lord has helped us. The Philistines were humbled and didn't invade the territory of Israel again. And the hand of the Lord was set against the Philistines as long as Samuel lived. Come on, somebody. Okay, what I just said. It's good to have the right people praying for you, the right people on your team. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all be blocking your blessings. Some of y'all see people and you want to judge them instead of going to them. Maybe it's some people out here, instead of calling them Jesus freaks, instead of saying they this and they that and trying to find a flaw in them, you need to be coming to them because their prayers going to get God moving. You might wait on you. But their prayers, God might say, since you asked me, since it's you, just like he did Abraham when Lot was over there in Sodom and Gomorrah. God, if it's just one good person, because Abraham knew wasn't nobody else good over there, but I got Lot, my nephew over there. There's just one good person over there, God. Will you save him? What he did? See, them angels took Lot and his family up out of there? Okay. Having a good intercessor on your team. All right, you winning. The towns which the Philistines had taken from Israel, from Ekron to Gath, were restored to Israel. Israel recovered all her territory from the Philistines. There was also peace between Israel and the Amorites. Man, if y'all knew it, I knew y'all would be screaming too. Man, if y'all knew it, I knew y'all would be giving God the glory too. Let me tell you something. When you humble yourself and you come before the Lord, He don't only heal you. He don't only take that pain away. Baby, he restore you. Baby, he give you what was lost. Baby, he gives you better. Baby, he gives you peace. He restored them. The towns that were taken from them, he gave it back to them. Baby, not only am I going to give you better, I'm going to give you what you lost. Yeah, you poured all your love into this person, and they just trampled. They just took and never gave. But this next place, I take you're going to be poured into. All the love that you gave out, I'm going to give it to you times 10. That man going to love on you so good, you're going to start to doubt it. Something must be wrong with him. He too perfect. But then you pour yourself out like that to somebody. Okay, God going to restore you. Not only that, he going to make your enemies come and want to be friends with you. They had peace with the Amorites. People who was talking down on you, who was negative against you, ain't like you, finally see the good in you. Oh, I don't know why I ain't like you. I don't know why I thought you was mean in the beginning. Why you think you was so mean? You're really a cool person. Let me tell you something. If y'all know what I do in this word, you'll get in it. 7:15, baby. Samuel judged Israel as long as he lived. Each year he made the rounds of Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and acted as judge over Israel at all those places. Then he would return to Ramah, for his home was there. And there, too, he would judge Israel. He built an altar there to the Lord. That's it. I don't know how that's the end. We're going to chapter 8. That's the end of chapter 7. I guess God just wants us to know in this season, in this chapter, that if you humble yourself, forget about the worldly things, forget about the secular things, forget about the things that are hindering you from getting your true blessing, God's going to restore you. Everything that this world took from you, God's going to give it back times 10. All the people that came up against you are going to want to be your friend. I ain't going to say all of them, because they ain't favor with the Amorites. The Philistines still out on. But you know what? Better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. All right, guys. I hope everyone have a blessed day today. I have to work in about an hour, so I'm not going to hold you guys. I just want to say that the Lord is good. The Lord is forgiving. There's nothing you've done that you can't come back from. There's nothing you've done that you can't come back from. David was great. David took Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, put him in the war to die. Sent him to war to die. You stole a man's wife, you committed adultery, and you had him killed. And guess what God did? When Bathsheba got pregnant with that child, God said this can't stand because God don't like no mess. But guess what? The next one that David had was Solomon. Y'all know how God loved Solomon. Oh, God loved Solomon. Solomon had wisdom and all these other great things. So don't think you can't come back from whatever you've done that God was displeased with. God is a forgiving God. God has showed you if you humble yourself, I'll restore you.